Roy Hodgson didn't have a happy time at Liverpool, but he did take it on the chin when the results were not going for him. I don't think Kenny likes taking it on the chin. Let's have a look at what I have to say. After the game against Wigan, they lost 2-1 at home. Suarez had a goal disallowed because it was blatantly handled into the net. Kenny Dalglish wouldn't accept that.
There's no rhyme or reason why the second goal should be chalked off for me when Louise challenges for a header. I just don't see it.
Wasn't it handball?
That wasn't, no. Oh, you must have a different telly to us.
Well, the ref said it was for a push.
The ref said it's for a push?
No, did the ref? I don't know what the ref said.
He never said in.
No.
No, he gave it for handball, I think.
I think it was for handball.
I think he gave it for handball.
Have you seen it?
Well, I've seen it, yeah.
It hits his left hand as it was going.
It hits his left hand?
I thought so. I thought
I must have a different telly.
I think better results around the corner for you.
I'm no clairvoyant. I can't see the same players being able to play Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday every week.
Is that the reason, you think, for the fact that the league results haven't gone your way?
No, I just said that was the reason for today. Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Right, there you go. I'd call that belligerent, to be honest. You know, Kenny Dalglish has had a difficult time settling back in with the press in his second incarnation, I beg your pardon, as Liverpool manager. Now, what he said there, Flash, you know, we both heard him say, he said, you must have a different telly to me. Look, that goal was given initially. There was a lot of confusion about it because we were here on Saturday afternoon. First of all, we're told Liverpool have gone 2-1 up. And then the score's not come up on our ticker tape, you know, which is an official supply of scores as they unfold during the afternoon. Then it's a disallowed goal. Why was it disallowed? It's only when I saw the pictures later that not only did Suarez knock it in on the line in a bit of a kerfuffle, you know, but he clearly... And by the way, for such a talented player, he could have got his head to it or his shoulder to it, but he chose to use his hand to get it over the line. But he then ran off down the line with a massive celebration, much more of a celebration than you'd normally expect a footballer to take for scoring against Wigan at Anfield. And he was clearly trying to con the ref, in my view, and the linesman and the crowd into thinking it was a legitimate goal. When you looked at the TV pictures later, it was clearly a handball. Kenny Dalglish will not accept it. He looks like a man under terrible pressure to me. At the end, he said that the players were tired. He'd had enough. He got up and he left rather quickly, I would say, from the press conference. He's getting niggled, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing that comes across with Kenny, and it does obviously alienate a lot of people, is basically that he doesn't care anything for anyone's opinion other than Liverpool. Liverpool Football Club is the only thing he cares about. Now, you cannot defend Suarez in this instance. He's punched the ball into the net blatantly, and he's wheeled away as if he's just scored it from 30 yards, legitimate goal. So again, you can not say anything other than he's tried to con and then run away in glory over something that should never have been allowed.
I totally agree with you. Right, let's get up to the Skype wall, please. We'd like you to get on the Skype wall. Sports Tonight Live. One gentleman who's up on our Skype wall now is the man that knows about everything that moves in the north of England. It's Alan Biggs, our northern correspondent. He's with us now. Alan, good evening to you, pal.
Hi, good evening. I wish that were true, by the way, Mike.
Well, of course it's true, mate. You only work for us because you are all-seeing. You've got a crystal ball and every ounce of knowledge. Now, Alan, look, I was up in Merseyside last Wednesday. I came to see Everton lose to Arsenal, unfortunately. But I did speak to some of my mates there, Liverpool fans, and even they are starting to wonder whether, you know, Kenny's taking the right attitude, even as a PR exercise, let alone as a reaction to Liverpool's form at the moment, in order to help the club go forward. They seem to be going backwards.
Well, you have to question his mood, his demeanour. I've had only limited dealings with Kenny Dalglish over the years. I can only observe what everybody else observes. And I would describe him and his demeanour at the moment in one word: sour.
Yeah, it is sour. And it's unnecessarily sour. He's not making any friends for Liverpool or for himself.
He isn't. I mean, it's the wrong way to go about it. And I find that for such a great player and a very considerable manager, there's absolutely no joy in him at all, which I can't understand. And I find very sad. I think he's a driven individual, a man who applies his own pressures, but he's actually adding to the internal pressures boiling within by handling press conferences in that way.
Al, do you think that he's just being over stubborn? And also, do you think that he's now come to terms with the players that he's actually bought? One weren't worth the money and two are not Liverpool players?
Yeah, I think those are adding to his problems. A very expensive striker who's not delivering and doesn't appear to be fitting into Liverpool's style of play. Good evening, Gordon.
How are you, Al?
Back, don't we?
We do, sir. We do. You look well.
I wish I could see you. I'm sure you haven't changed much either.
Thank you very much, Al.
Don't worry, he's wearing well over the years, Al.
Is he?
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah, please go on.
Yeah, I mean, things aren't working for him on the field, but he could do himself a few favours and show the side that people who know him, ex-teammates, those who are very pally with him, are always saying, well, Kenny's a joker, he's a great fella, you know, great sense of humour, and he never has been prepared to communicate that with the rest of us.
Yeah.
We've been shut out of that.
There's another issue here, Alan, that is that there's almost like a fatwa within the world of football that you do not criticise Kenny Dalglish. For instance, Alan Hansen on Match of the Day, not the Saturday just gone, but midweek, last week, simply would not raise the issue of Kenny Dalglish's failings. I saw a column written by Alan Shearer this morning in which he said that the idea of, you know, questioning what Dalglish is doing is beyond reprehension, and nobody inside the game. Well, now, if he had real friends, Kenny had real friends, they'd take him aside and say, Kenny, not only are you're having a rough time here, but to try and present it to the world as nothing more than tired players and people asking you horrible and difficult questions, it's ludicrous.
Yeah, they should do, shouldn't they? They should do him a favour, take him to one side, because we're talking here about communicators, former players who've become good communicators.
Yes.
Alan Hansen, Alan Shearer, they know the business of the media and communication. And yes, I fully agree with you, Mike. They should take him to one side and say, hey, you're doing this wrong, Kenny. And there does seem to be this protective field around him. But it's also unnecessary to me. He appears to be taking a defensive stance all the time. No doubt what happened with Suarez and the mistakes that he and Liverpool made over that have seemed to have accentuated this defensive posture that almost borders on paranoia.
With Sports Tonight Live. Don't miss a thing. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Search for Sports Tonight Live on Facebook and like our fan page. Follow Sports Tonight TV on Twitter and tweet us your thoughts and opinions. Sports Tonight Live, it's the platform for the fans.